Kunjani?
Khona man, it's been years though. Hey, it's been years.
Dude, the last time I think we met, it was at some Chilasinyana.
Yeah, it was. We were just having some nice time there.
Oh man, happy belated birthday. I know your birthday is in Jan.
Then Jen.
But I never forget it. On the 25th.
25th of Jan.
Yeah,
Stand up, Jen, baby. Stand up.
How you doing, man?
I'm great in yourself. I'm very good.
Good to see you.
Likewise.
I have burning questions. This is the first time that I get on set.
Okay.
With nothing on, like, in writing.
Nah, let's just freestyle. Let's just freestyle.
So, where you at now? I just want to start there before I ask many things. Where you at now?
Like in terms of what?
Mentally.
Oh, mentally, I'm in a good place now. Mentally is how I'm over the moon.
Tell me about it.
I'm over the moon because of now I've just found my purpose now. So I've just found my purpose. So
tell me about it.
I'm being realigned to who I am and who I'm supposed to be. So yeah, that's where I am right now.
Who's Thapelo?
It's just a young man. Grew up Sonneville, then moved to KZN, then came back home. I would say I'm just a chill guy. Nothing much. There's nothing special about me. But then one thing I can tell you is just a chill guy.
Chilled guy, humble.
Chill guy.
Humble someone. That's what I can say.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
Okay, so as I said that I have so much to say. Because every time when I think about you, I know you're that person who believes in positive vibes.
Yeah, always. You
positive vibes. You love grasping in positive things any day and everything, and you like sharing that.
True.
And there's this special thing about you. When you love so loud.
That's the thing, man. But then you keep getting our heart broken.
Like you love so loud in a sense that I remember, you know, I used to drink a lot.
Yeah.
Lot.
Yeah.
Until Ulindo said to me, he feels that I don't believe in love.
Yeah.
And love is God. God is love.
If
I don't believe in love, I don't believe in God.
True.
And if I don't believe in God, I don't believe in love.
Yes,
which you love so loud. Tell me about that. What makes you think? What makes you feel that you need to share that with us when you are so much in love and show us the beauty of love without maybe thinking what would happen or it will end in tears, or maybe someone would say a different thing about the person that you're with at that time?
Men, there's one thing that people don't understand, especially women. One thing about men is that when a man is happy, he cannot contain it. That's one thing. So I don't think there is any exception when it comes to me. So I just think that where I come from and how I've grown, how I've been brought up, like I'm coming from a very loving family. So when we love, we need to be loud about it. So I think it's just in a DNA. So when you love someone, there's also one thing that I believe in. You just don't need to know that I love you. You also need to feel it. Yeah? Even though I did not tell you that I love you, but then you could just feel it because of what my heart at that time is feeling, is exhibiting, because of you just need to see it and feel it that this guy loves me. So I think I took it from my mother as well, because of that woman. She's very loving.
Look, I'm smiling. You know why?
That woman, she's very loving.
There's no conversation that I would have with you without mentioning your mom.
She's the best. She's the
best.
Why
her? Why not your dad or your siblings or whatsoever, but specifically your mom?
You know, like I come from a dysfunctional family as well. So I've been brought up by my grandparents. Shout out to my grandfather.
Oh.
And my grandmother in KZN in Newcastle. So my father died when
I'm sorry to disturb you. So that's where the sense of style coming from. Because I was in Newcastle unapologetically, so like
yeah, like I won't lie to you. I so in Newcastle, so this neighborhood called Long Home in Newcastle.
Okay.
So this is Manila.
Yeah.
I know if one of the people will be watching Usizwe Dlamini.
Shout out.
And Usanele Makubane,
Shout out.
TK Tonzi, those Uzama, Mzamini, Hotman. So those are the guys we used to look up to.
Okay.
Those guys had a lot of sense of style.
Yeah. Not fashion. We're not speaking fashion.
not fashion,
Fashion
style.
fades.
Yeah, style.
Style.
Okay,
Yeah.
style. So
Style is more of your identity. When
Yeah.
someone thinks of you, they know you didn't duplicate what other people are doing, but you are yourself in a sense that you feel comfortable and you feel like you can be out there, right?
Yeah, so we used to aspire to be them one day. So because of their sense of style, and then also I know the way they were dancers as well. So we used to look up to them very, very much, like very much. So that I think that's where sense of fashion as well was born, and sense of style.
Kodwa nje njengoba besho ukuthi most of the times abantu abanestyle yigebengu. Do you agree?
Those ones were not gangsters. I can attest to this. Those ones were not gangsters. Those ones were proper G's. Like they made education fashionable because all of them went to school. All of them went to school.
And you are so driven when it comes to education.
It is. So hence that is why I'm saying it was born from there, from Newcastle. Growing up in Newcastle became a blessing in disguise.
So now, before we talk about ugogo wakho nomkhulu wakho, how did it feel? A reason that I'm asking you this.
Yeah.
I think I'm asking for personal benefits.
Okay.
You know that you know my kids. You've been around my kids.
Yes, I've been.
And then I had to make drastic decisions and taking them away from the city.
Yeah.
So I need you to give me at least of glimpses. How did it feel for you? From Joburg to Newcastle. What was happening in your mind at that time?
So and then that's the funny part, because no one took me. I'm the one who decided.
Okay.
I want to go stay with my grandmother at the other side. I just decided, you know what? I just want to go stay with my grandmother at the other side, because my grandmother, she's a disciplinarian.
Oh, okay.
She's a disciplinarian.
You felt a need of that. You needed that.
No, not per se that I needed that, but then I just needed a different environment as well. Just needed a different environment. So, and also when it comes to my moving, it also has advantages and disadvantages. So while I was still this side, so I used to love soccer. I used to be a soccer player. Okay. I'm still good. Good at it as well.
Okay.
Still good. So if I stayed behind, I could have been one of the greatest soccer players. Okay. I believe so.
Okay.
Because that other side, there's no opportunities compared to this side. So when I moved to that other side, I think moving that other side, it helped me and it sharpened me to become an academic as well.
Okay.
So hence why I'm saying it has its own advantage and its own advantages as well. Yeah.
So tell me about moving from here to stay there.
Yeah, no. I'm staying with my grandmother that side. It's only years my grandmother and my grandfather that side.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So moving that other side, that was so nice. You see, I that's when I started to learn discipline. So Makoko I used to have a curfew there. By this time I need to be home. So that's when I started to learn discipline. And then my grandmother should teach us how to cook. See, I can do anything and everything right now. I'm not dependent on anyone or any woman, because we learned that from the very, very, very young age. So when my grandmother was teaching us, because there was a lot of us, my cousins as well, and my sister was sitting there at the side, so there was a lot of us there. There's a lot of us. So that's when I started to learn discipline. That's right.
Do you believe that life is a reflection of what we give it to?
It is, because one thing about life, there's a law that I love by Newton, by Einstein. Newton. The force that you exert on point A is the force that will be exerted on point B. So it's what you give life, it's what's gonna be reciprocated back to you. So you cannot give life a negative energy and it responds with positivity. So hence that is why always when I wake up, I just take a decision. I'm gonna be positive.
That's all. That's what every time when I think about you, the positivity. What you post as well is always about positivity. And then how do you remove yourself from negativity? Like, you know that this is not where you're supposed to be at. Because sometimes people that we associate ourselves with, they have an impact in our lives.
100%.
Whether it's positive or negative. So how do you remove yourself in negativity? And how do you know that you have to be there when it comes to positivity and add as well, because there are so many things that I can say about you that I still remember even today. So
one thing about me as well is that, like, I cannot stand negative people. So whenever when the environment is negative, I tend to move away because of where you spend your time at. It's gonna be an outcome of what you become.
Yeah.
So I cannot surround myself with negative people. Negative people are such draining people. Such draining people. So what I normally do is just I move slowly. I move slowly from those situations, from those kinds of places as well. So I just don't have a manual or on how do I do it. I just do it instinctively. I just just move away from negativity. So hence that's why I do not have Facebook and everything. Twitter, the reason why I have Twitter, it's because of I can shut down negativity. I can shut it down.
Yo, Mina, I can't stand Twitter, guys. Yo, Twitter, that's where I feel like butchery. Like if you wanna be butchered, go to Twitter.
It is.
Do you think we all have to be there so that we can see how strong we can be to this world?
Not necessarily. You do not need to consume anything that is negative. I believe so. You don't need.
But how do you block that? Because you're a human being.
You first of all, self-identity is very much important. I know who I am. So like at some point it might come out as an arrogant. It's become arrogant as an arrogance. It depends where you are in life. So once you know yourself, there's nothing that will deter you. There's nothing anyone can tell me about me. There's nothing. People will always be people. Hence, you just need to know who you are and what you stand for. Then that's it. Then you're good.
You know, I've encountered manyama breakups work.
Okay. Yeah.
And you still love loud.
I mean, because I love calling other people kings. Also, like most of my friends, you guys know that I call each and every guy king because I believe that men are not celebrated enough. Like men are not celebrated enough.
Please elaborate that.
Men are not celebrated enough, not in terms of relationship or anything like that. Men go through a lot and then they die in silence. You see, so when I call a guy king, I'm resuscitating something within. I'm just evoking that spirit of kingness, of kingship within a man and saying that king, you can rise above any situation. You can rise above any circumstances. You are the king. You not think you know you are. Not think you know you are. Because within us, we know that there's something great within us. So that's the spirit that I live with. So my kings, guys, rise up. Don't wear the crown because you know that the crown is within.
And then when it comes to saying it's okay not to be okay, and knowing you as someone who's got this positive vibes around them, when do you identify, and how do you identify when you're not okay?
It's when I'm down. You see, when I'm down, then that's when I could detect now there's something wrong now. When I'm down, like, especially the funny part about me is that it's other people's things that make me to be down and not to be okay because of
not your problems,
not my problems. Me, wow. I can stand them in such a way that if you come to me and ask for assistance and then I cannot assist that particular time, it just makes my day worse. So I wish I could do more. I wish I could always give more. So that's the problem when it comes to me. Because of my problems, I can just pray about them. You see, there's one thing when I feel down a bit, I just pray, and then I just pray until I feel that I have that peace. I have that peace. I've mastered this art. Of prayer. See, and this other guy was saying to me, I've never seen you sad. I was like, that's a decision you make. That's a decision you make, my boy.
You know, I want to share something that happened to me 2012.
Okay.
We all go through darkest phases in our lives.
That's inevitable.
Right? And I believe you, Nongebo, you've been with me in that route or in that path when I was going through that.
It's a big
and
sister.
Someone, I mean, we used to motivate each other.
Yeah.
Even in my darkest days, you would just knock. I didn't know how you would feel that at that time I needed you guys.
Yeah.
And there's someone who took my son's picture.
Yeah. Okay.
Esebhuqwini, like empunga. And then took my picture.
Made a comparison.
Ngiqeda ukugeza. And say mother and son.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
For the longest time, I was so angry. I was so angry in a sense that I had to go through it now and then until I think 2 years back, she apologized.
Okay.
But at that time, they saying ngixolele.
Yes.
Because I discovered that the difference between me nalo muntu loyo, bekanomama yena,
Yes.
who covered her. Because it's not like mina naye besingenza into eziyi-one.
Yes.
But yena bekanomama ozothatha la mntwana estradini makasebhuqwini,
Yes.
amgeze amfake endlini amlalise.
That's true.
And the difference with me, I would go ngiyophuza ngenzeni without anyone taking care of owami umntwana.
Yes.
That was my darkest
moment
of my, not that person, but
Yes.
in a sense that I had to go and apologize to Uslindile
Yes.
first before blaming any other person.
Yes.
Because I allowed whatever that has happened in my life.
Yes.
Because the moment things keep on happening to you, but you stay, you cannot blame on other people who are doing that to you.
No, you can't.
But it's on you.
It is on you.
And then now, there was a time that you trusted. I'm not gonna go deeper in it.
Yes.
But there was a time that I feel that you went through your darkest days.
I did.
That is why it's hard for me to judge other people. Because tinabanye siyabusiseka, you get your darkest days, but you come back. You see a light.
Exactly.
There are other people who are still in the dark. It can take a decade or so. And then we are so quick to judge.
Yes.
Ngoba thina sesabona light.
Yes, it's true.
And then there was a time that you came to me and you said, dude, it's dark. I can't see a light.
Yeah, it was.
Why did you trust me?
Let me be honest with you, yeah. Just gonna be, and I know some other people will resonate with this. We as men, we haven't built a safe space for me to come to a man and say, hey man, this is really what is really I'm going through, especially when it comes to relationship. It is hard for me to come to say to my friend, I got cheated on. This is what this woman has done to me. This is what, because of we as men, we tend to view such moment as a weakness. To say you can't be weakling. I remember when you still remember my breakup, right? I remember I tried to speaking to this other friend of mine. He said, "Weak man, boy." That's what he said.
He was strong.
He said, "Weak man."
Weak.
And then it clicked to me and says like we have been made to think that we can't feed anything. So coming to a woman, she understands emotion. And it was very dark. I can tell you that day on that weekend before I texted you, I remember on that weekend, this good friend of mine, the other people call him Magic. He's a good friend, he's an older brother to me. I remember he took me to Valley. He could see that I was going through it.
Yeah.
But then trusting him with what I was going through that particular time, it was to him it was not gonna make sense because of men psychologically they've been structured
to be strong.
I don't want to be strong. I just want to let it out.
Yeah.
I don't want to be strong. I just want to let it out. And then we had a joy and value, his colleague, and then he made us food and everything. And then we came back and then we chill. Me and him, we sit for hours. We can sit for hours.
But they couldn't see that there was something off.
He could see, but then how do you approach it?
Okay.
How do you approach it? How do you make me talk?
Okay.
That was the problem.
Yeah.
And that was the darkest day of my life. And then I came back home and then it was just dark. And then I trusted you because of you could feel what I was feeling because of it's in women's nature to be emotional and say, hey, this is what I'm going through now. And then I trusted you enough because of I know that the wisdom that comes from you, it's out of this world, so that it was going to be much easier for me if I could speak. And then I spoke, and till this day, I'm still very grateful that I spoke to you because of I could have decided to take it otherwise.
Did you go that far that I'm sorry if you're not comfortable with this? Did you think of?
I was suicidal. Yes, I was. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just not gonna lie. I was suicidal because of nothing was making sense at that particular time. As a person, you can take it. You can take it. You can only take much. You can only take much, and especially if you have always been the strongest person around your circle as well. To say, hey, this is what I'm going through. You always the one who's always making sure everyone is all right.
Yeah.
Me, I'm always giving. Reciprocating, it's just optional. You reciprocate. Me, when I help, I don't help with the intentions of
getting expecting something in return.
Hence, that is why when I love, if someone decides to do it otherwise, then it's fine. It's up to them. But then that does not mean that I'm not gonna love anymore.
When I grow up, I wanna be like you. When I grow up, I wanna be like you. I wanna be in a space where I exhaust all my resources.
Yeah.
And then be proudly and so boldly say, I've exhausted all my. I should have. I could have. If only. Exhaust all of them so that when now it's not working out, I can sit and sleep peacefully, know that I have played my part. You understand?
Yeah, because the other thing, it comes from the discipline I was telling you about my grandmother. One thing I've always lived about is like you give it 100% or nothing. Angeni ngathi uyaphuma or yabo angimela ungene ngathi uyaphuma. So whatever I do, you must just know I'm just gonna give you my 100%. Whatever I do, I'm just gonna give you my 100%.
Do you think love still exists?
It does exist. I can tell you there's a lot of great people outside there. There's a lot.
But how would you know?
That's the problem because of we keep on encountering people who haven't healed from their past traumas. The reason why most relationships are not functioning, are not working, it's because of we're coming from dysfunctional homes. We're coming from fatherless household. How can I be expected to perform a role of something that I haven't seen being acted? Sigmund Freud, the founder of psychology, there's this child parent thing. Child are most likely to imitate what they see their parents do.
Thank you.
Yeah, so me, I'm expected to be a husband, but then I haven't seen a father who acted as a husband.
But now, why is it with black men? I want to say black men to be specific, that every time when we want to show so much affection, they always consider it as we watch movies. They refer it as us being people who ubukela movie kakhulu and nabo bold and beautiful. What do you think makes that? Because now, as women, we have this thing of we want to be held. We want to be held. We want to be loved. We want to feel it. We want all these things that you guys it's so hard to show. It's hard for you guys to show love.
It is.
Until when now we're having an altercation, and then now you see me that I'm almost on my exit, and then that's when we're like, yo, Slee, I appreciate you. You know, I love you because. But these are the things that I want you to tell me, even in our happiest moments. Not only when we're fighting, and then now you want to remind me why you need me in your life.
Yeah, like when it comes to men, especially showing affection and emotion, we have been told that men needs not to show any emotion. So we growing up with that mindset to say showing emotion is a weakness. You grew up in a household that says indoda maybe indoda man sukhala intoni nxa yakho.
Yeah.
Intoni nxa sukhala khala ntoni.
Yeah.
Yabo, why are you crying as a man? Ulelang. Yabo. So it becomes a problem now when you find a significant one. Yabo. And then also it stems from the problem where we have not seen role being acted. Yabo. There are those who can argue to say, "Mkhulele no baba no mama," were they showing affection? And then that's another problem, Futi. I don't know. You see, my mother, I don't know when was the last time she told me that she loved me. You see, we as kids, growing up as kids, it is advisable to hear those things. Starting to appreciate the little efforts umntana kazenza. You know, umntana mawubuye cleanile, you need to say as
I appreciate, because the only time, Tina, as parents, we would be so vocal, it's when you do something wrong.
Yes.
But when you do something right, we never mention.
Because it's like, oh, which means things that I do that are good are not being seen.
Mm.
Yeah, are not being seen. And then also, while we're still speaking about men showing emotion, there's this other thing futhi ukuthi siphuma, especially kasi ukuthi you need to ube isoka, man. You need to have multiple women.
Okay.
Yeah, you need to have multiple women. So you have 4 women. How are you gonna show emotion to all four those women?
Because your attention is divided.
It is divided. It is divided. It is divided. So now it is a problem now because of we have normalized.
Ukuthi fanele ube nebalance ukuthi lo makakubhayizisa
Yes.
lona is doing doing better.
Yes, it's doing better. Hence, that's why you find that the fatherlessness would never end because of we're still living with that same mindset. And then we have a problem of women telling men on how to be men. How can you tell a man to be a man if you have never been a man?
Hey. For me, it's always hard when someone asks me, what's your love language?
Yes.
Or how do you want to be loved?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
A reason for that, I always feel that if I tell you how I want to be loved, I'm navigating you to be somebody that you are not. Because you will start loving me how I said I want to be loved. But is it something that is coming from your heart? It's not.
Yabona, this thing is a balance. Ne? You opening up to me, this is how I want to be loved. You must, because we grew up from different backgrounds. Me, I believe in flowers. But then we have a problem. Our sister, most of our black sisters,
we're not used to that.
They are not used to that.
Yeah.
And then I cannot blame them. Then we'll ask, "Ngizowadla ama-flower?"
Yeah, it's
You see now, because of the background, she's coming from an underprivileged background.
Yeah.
You see, so hence that is why letting someone in and saying, "This is how I want to be treated. Pamper me with love and everything." You know, like I prefer someone who's vocal on how they want to be treated, so that it also gives me an opportunity to learn something new.
Yeah.
Something new. May I believe in communication. You see, communication is the key to relationship. It is a key because of once we communicate about your needs and my needs, so it becomes much easier so that to come to a focal point and say, this is how we want to navigate this relationship, this is where we are planning to go, this is the goal of the relationship, this is where we want to be achieved, this is where we want to achieve. So men in essence.
But you guys, I'm sorry to cut you, you're so scared of confrontations. You don't want to be in a moment where I would want us to sit and talk about stuff. Why?
It is a problem for men because of as growing up, more busy when your parents or your mother or your father are busy, you know you have done something wrong. And then also it's just a past trauma to say, because it's not something that we want, and then the man of approach, it is also important, the man of approach. So how you approach the situation and the matter, it is also because of most women when they confrontational, they're not coming in a tone or in an attitude where she's willing to build. I always say that thunderstorm doesn't grow far. That doesn't grow plants. It is just the rain. So your confrontation should have an objective to say, I want to build here. I want to build here. So when you come to a man, respect is important. Irrespective of what's wrong. Yes, he's wrong, right? But then how do you address the situation? Because I can tell you now, even if I'm wrong, when you come to me shouting, 99% of the time, not 100% of the time, I'm not going to listen to whatever you're going to say. I'm going to want to counter back.
And you want to reverse
psychology because of how you approach me. You need to come and say, hey, I'm not sure pet names, whatever the case could be. Say, stand or something.
But do you do that with us?
Like me, like I want to,
because you just become so absent-minded and you will be emotionally available and everything when you could do the same thing. When I've done something that pisses you off, you could come in a very calm way, talk to me, right? But you don't do that, but you're expecting us to do it because Nina never cold and absent, right? For me, I'll scream because I'm crying out loud. To say this hurts, and instead of you asking me how much does it hurt, we find deflection. That's what you do all the time.
It is a problem with men because of one thing I've noticed about most of us men, we don't want to be on the wrong side.
Why?
it is a patriarchal manner that has been instilled in us to say, "Angizukuze,
Ngeke ngizomuntu wesifazane.
yeah." So it has made us to be arrogant and then to be ignorant to our emotion, to our women's emotion, in such a way that it's when we become emotionally absent to say, "I cannot listen and cater for your needs, emotional needs," and says that, and then this thing a woman in Bowoto, I mean, I'm sorry, it's a total utter rubbish.
It's nonsense.
It's rubbish, that thing.
It's nonsense. As much as it goes back to man.
Yes.
It's nonsense when you're gonna tell umuntu ukuthi weak.
No.
At the very same time, they say we are made out of God's image.
Yes.
Sisonke,
Yes.
angesho?
Yes.
So why is it these emotions things they have to favor some other people? Let me refer to me. I think I love my son better because he taught me.
Okay.
He taught me. My son taught me how to allow him to show emotions.
Yes.
He allowed me to kiss him.
Yes.
He allowed me to listen to him.
Yes.
He allowed me. I remember I had a conversation with a friend when I said, I'm not comfortable because my son would come to me once to talk about girls.
Yeah.
And I don't even know how to respond until he said to me, should you shut that door? Even when he's married and going through things, he would never open it.
True. Facts.
He would never open that door. So I had to learn all of those things.
Yes.
And Utando, my brother's son, that child, I didn't know how to love him.
Yeah.
He directed me
Yes.
how to love him, in a sense that when they had the second child, when the mother was expecting the second child, I always questioned myself, sure, am I gonna be able to love Lomdano Zayo the way I love Utando? So it boils back to the fact that you said you don't recall when was the last time your mom told you Uyakthanda.
Yes.
When was the last time you got some hugs?
You see, now that's the problem because of those are the things in a black household that we're not used to. We in a black household, there's so many things that we avoid because of even them. They had their own past traumas. I cannot blame my mother because that's how she grew up as well. So us, we are fortunate enough. We are a new dispensation, a new generation. So because of we've seen how much the trauma that they've went through and then how they've brought us up. So I had to unlearn so many things. I had to unlearn so many things. I had to unlearn. I had to be more affectionate. I have to be more emotional. You see my woman, like I'm seeing someone. She would say to me, I've never been loved like this before. Ati give me like the way you see, like wabona, you always make sure that you have built that foundation of me to come to you. I can tell you, we don't fight like your normal fight and then this is what I don't like. You did this and this. You said gonna get back to me. I understand that you are busy. Can we do better next time? You see now she's not fighting because I had to teach her that because she's coming from a
very toxic,
and then I gave her time and says like, this is how we do things. We can't be loud. Why? If we are loud, why are we solving? What are we solving? And then also because of I understand myself, and then I had to unlearn so many things, and then I had to let her do those mistakes, and then she started to learn gradually, and then she came in. You see now. So now that's the problem now.
Okay.
That most relationship don't allow to say now, let me learn something new. Me, I'm always open to learn something new. She would come and say to me, you know what, this is what I think we need to do. I'm not those patriarchal men. I remember I said to her, like, I don't need a slave.
Yeah,
I don't need a slave.
But
Your voice matters.
This is the thing. Every time if I say to you, this hurts this much, you would start saying, get dramatic.
Yes.
Get pull up a stance, and all of that, and be like, I'm an African man.
Yes. We always hide behind
we
our
are
culture.
deprived. I want to say this openly. I'm not saying maybe I wouldn't speak for men because I'm not a man.
Yes.
But there's this thing with our African men where when you come and say it hurts, but like, and we don't respond the same when it comes to pain.
You can't.
You cannot compare me with somebody else.
You can't.
You cannot compare me with Unomsa that you were with,
Yes.
that she handled things differently from. This is me, and this is how I feel at this point.
Yes, at this moment.
Can you not maybe shy away from the fact that I'm screaming for a second
Okay.
and try to listen to what I'm trying to say to you?
Yes.
Maybe this is how I'm responding to this pain.
Yes.
And the only person, I want you not to listen to me. I want you to hear me.
Yes.
Stop being a selective listener.
Yes.
But now you guys, I'm sorry because
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, it's
talking to
fine,
a
it's
man
fine.
and
Yes,
I'm gonna take you along.
Yes.
You're failing us, guys.
We-
And now sesifika manje kuma relationships thina abafazi ukuthi sizosebenza la.
Yeah, yeah.
Angeke ngibe nguBob the Builder because you don't see me.
Yes.
Can you see me beforehand? See me, understand when I'm not okay. You should be the first person to tell mangingekho right.
Yes. You see, with that one, it's subjective. Ne? Reason being, most of us, we grew up in the most traumatic situations. Yeah, so we got so much used to pain that we believe that other people should handle pain and situation the same as us.
Yeah.
So if you come to me and complaining about such something, to me I'm thinking, what? And then to you it's the biggest thing
It's a
ever.
lot.
It's the biggest thing ever.
Like when I cry when my man shouts at me.
You see,
I cry
Yes.
because I know what it does to
Yes,
me.
yes,
You
yes.
know, can you just be kind? As much as mina ngishout,
Yes.
but I don't want that to happen
Yes,
to me.
you-
And I acknowledge that maybe it's something that I need to work
you
on.
need to work on, because of you cannot give something and then don't want to receive it as well.
Yeah.
So it's a problem because of also the thing that we cannot shy away from is that, have you also built up a safe space for me to trust you with my
Safe
emotions?
space. Highlight. Have you built a safe space?
Yeah, because of you must understand that the society wants men to be robots, first of all.
Do you think that we don't acknowledge, we don't reckon that you are human beings and you have emotions as women?
Most women don't. Where do you see it? Men are always subjected to body shaming. You are short.
You broke as fuck.
Broke
So
as
it's
what,
used
what,
that, but that's
but,
what we
but,
say.
But then when I respond as a man who does not have a child, and then I say I don't want a woman who has a child,
Double standards.
not double standard, I'm being called names. I'm a misogynis, I'm a misogyny, and then I call all these sorts of names. It's my preference. As much as a woman who says she does not want a broke man, it's still her preference. Yeah, but why men are always attacked on their own preference and says, I don't want a woman with a child. Yeah, well, I don't want a woman. I'm not just gonna go extreme. Just this one example. I don't want a woman with a child. But then men need to be subjected to all kinds of insults to say your mother, what. But then it's his preference. It is his. Women have their own as well. But then we don't have time to attack them. But then a man's preference, it's always been put under scrutiny.
So you do okay, what's your take in this thing, Yabo Indodamast? Do you think we are these women who dates because of hunger? Because that's what's been they've been saying, that most of women, they date because balambile, and then they would use those. I cannot date a broke man. I cannot date a man who doesn't have a car. The only thing he had, he kept his hands. Zangabe naive in Ngolovane, you know. But do you, if you had to put that in an existence, do you think Tina Mantomazana, we want things that are impossible, things ngifuni istropez, right? Yeah. At the very same time,
Yeah.
and instead of me telling you, babe, I know ukuthi ufuna ukungispoila, maybe ungithengela boma istropez nabo moyo nabo veve and all that, but ngicela usebenzise noma anginakudla endlini yazi izolo bengiqedezela 2 slices that I had with bread bean. Do you think we should do that as women to you? Should we, as you spoke about a safe space? Because I had a friend, umuntu wakhe wamthatha wamsenza Zanzibar for the whole weekend. And then I mean, doing these nice things and all that. And I remember when she called me, the moment the guy dropped in, she called me crying. She was like, can you believe every second when we had to leave Wudla La Payana, every second when he had to spend this and that. I knew ukuthi ngishiye ifridge inamanzi ne-onion.
Nothing else. Yeah.
Ibingathi ngakuthatha okunye ukudla ngikufake
Yeah.
ngiyokudla endlini. Do you think should we as women be in a space where you can make your partner to understand that instead of ukuthi sihambe siyophuma siyodla e-restaurant asithenge ukudla esizopheka la endlini and then ekuzongiphusha maybe iviki?
So I think this thing, it also boils back to a point, emotional intelligence. You see, most men are far away from that reality.
Okay.
You don't have emotional intelligence. Yeah. And especially futhi kuba a problem at first when you meet a woman because of they see you are in a certain caliber of life and then they want to equate to that. Living their own reality and says like, this is my background situation.
Yeah.
Yes, you might be wearing heels and all those things are nice, but then that's not who you are. It's just a reflection of what you are at that particular moment.
Yeah.
That's not who you are at that time.
Yeah.
So it becomes to a point, so it goes back to a point where to say we just met right now.
Yeah.
And then as an emotionally intelligent man, have you created that space to say, can you trust me with your emotion? Look, money, I'm having this situation, this next. For us, maybe it's a bit far-fetched.
Yeah.
There's nothing at home.
Kunalutho.
There's nothing at home. Like it would be, how about settle for Makota and then the money you're about to spend. Yeah, well, the money you're about to spend.
Not even settling for ikota mhlambe senginte ngisufika ngipheke endlini isidle soyi-2. Yeah.
It's at the end of the day, it's an honesty from the get-go. You see, if you become honest from the start, like it makes everything to become much easier for me to trust you with my emotions. You know? Because of we have this thing of wanting to live a fake life, a fantasy life. You ask a question about Abantu Tamas. There's one thing I always believe in. And I know this is a bad example. No, you guys excuse me.
Yeah.
I'll never grow from poverty, and then you expect me to go to poverty foot.
Aish. Okay.
I don't judge women who have preferences.
But are you capable of doing those things for you?
So now, because I cannot do them myself, I'm not promoting you. I'm just trying to be a devil's advocate.
Okay, say, you're allowed.
Yeah, to say what you cannot like. Let me just make an example.
Yeah.
I've worked very hard.
Yeah.
I have all the money, and then I have a daughter. And then I see with data a hustler, like someone who's not even sure what is
what they're doing.
I'll always want to protect my daughter.
Of course.
I've always want to protect my daughter.
Yeah.
Right? I always want to protect my daughter.
Yeah.
This is the same mentality parents put to their children. So that you can't be pregnant because of your bonus man. So it comes from home. This thing comes from home. So hence that it's like their own. Me, I don't have a problem with anyone's preferences. Yeah. If you, as long as I'm not a target market, and then as long as you're not a target market, I'm not gonna bother you. Me, I love slender women. I love slender. I will never go for a child.
You shouldn't give what you don't have, and you shouldn't look for what you don't have.
No, you can't because of, in essence, you would want money from a man and everything. One thing about men, I always say this, and my friend always laugh at this. Men have what you call a recruitment budget.
Recruitment.
And then
tell me about it.
And then there's an operational budget.
Okay.
So mangsak phone, I can. It's
a recruitment.
Yeah,
that one.
That's a recruitment.
Okay.
And haven't you asked yourself why men always have money when everything's starting?
Yes.
That's a recruitment budget.
They have money for everything, and they don't mind
dates.
If you want to buy whatsoever.
Take you to dates.
Yeah.
When you started to date your actual man, you see that this man is broke, man. It does not have an operational budget.
Yeah.
Because of now you cannot operate because of Esakfuna. He made sure to stop everything.
Yeah.
So this is where it becomes a problem because of you think that because of where now you end up sleeping with the whole South Africa.
Yeah.
You end up sleeping with the whole South Africa because of men don't mind to spend. That's the thing about
men. For me, through my experience.
Okay.
I wouldn't want any man to put a tag on me.
Yes.
To think ukuthi usilindile umnikeza u20k or 50k a month.
Yeah.
She'll be sorted.
Yeah.
And then that's what gives you a leeway of telling me that I did this and this. What do you want?
Yes.
You understand? Because I remember they were interviewing Kanyimba when she said in the process, I lost my word.
Yeah.
I didn't have a word in a relation. I related so much that
Yes.
the saddest part, when you know that you're staying there because you're scared with Mohamba, you're gonna lose all of these.
Yes.
You're gonna lose all of this, in a sense that no menzani, you would keep quiet.
Oh yes.
Because they're feeding you. They know that if they gave you this much a month, you'll be okay.
Yes.
And that's what I wish our fellow sisters, my fellow sisters, to understand, that men, they feel that they have an upper hand when they know that even they buy you a pad.
Yes.
You understand? I don't care what you do in life for you to survive, but be with someone, oyazi ukuthi whether they're there or not, you can still stand.
Yes.
You can literally stand. If bakhona, it's just a cherry on top, that cake, it can still be eatable,
Yes.
whether that cherry is there or not. But now, how do we take that? Because now we have these parents as well, as you mentioned.
Yes.
We have parents who would say, "Date uthapelo, unani uthapelo, wenzani for your living, wenzani." You understand? Now you're instilling that to a child. Guti, uthapelo is a millionaire today. But are you thinking, Guti, what would happen to uthapelo kusasa, aluze all the things that they have? Would you still love them the same?
No, can't, because of the foundation was not built on a solid on a solid form to say Guti, this foundation that we are building upon it from love. Yabo. So one thing about men that women need to understand. I've seen it. Like, fortunately enough, I'm surrounded by people who have something in their lives. Like
Yeah.
people who have money, successful careers and everything, businesses
Yes.
as well. Once as a woman, you don't establish yourself, you don't build anything for yourself. Men are very manipulative when it comes to that. When it comes to that instance, because of him paying things and giving you money, he can cheat and then say, "Ukhalelan," because of I'm feeling you.
Why are you insecure?
Yes, I'm feeling
That's
you.
another thing.
feeling you.
Why you feel insecure? Because I'm here with you.
Yes,
I do everything
I
that
came
you
back.
want.
Yes.
I'm feeding you. My ex once said to me, "You're on the palm of my hand.
Yes.
Should I want, you would."
Yes.
Ngakuyisa wena nomndeni wakho.
Yes.
And that's where I learned the hardest way when it comes to this.
They're very disrespectful as well. We cannot take that away. Disrespectful and abusive. I've seen it with my own eyes, and then I had to cut some few friendships because of I cannot stand that behavior. One thing about me, it can be friendship, relationship. You need to grow at some point. You need to level up, go to the next stage of life. You need to go to the stage.
But do you? I always say this.
Okay.
If you would find a woman, I never judge people
Yeah.
circumstances about at that moment.
For sure.
But my question is always, what are you doing about it?
Yes.
That's what is important.
Yes.
Ungangasebenzi namhlanje,
Yes.
but you working on something.
Are you trying something?
Are
Because
you trying something? Because now, as women, we delay men.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about the fact that the likes of that you're dating this guy who's doing everything for you.
Yes.
Can you believe that? Can you imagine? I'm sorry, rather.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if you were meeting them halfway? It will be better for you to reach your destiny. Because now, umthwalo mawukuwe alone.
Yes.
Uhamba uyaphumula endleleni.
Obvious.
And it takes you a while to reach your destination.
Does.
But if I was there carrying the other side of the umthwalo lo,
bargain,
the bargain at the time, can you imagine how far would we go?
Because
Is it something that we need to teach our kids, or is it something one has to teach themselves and be realistic about it?
I think you see, the foundation is built from family to home, like especially parents. But then the reality is that we come from home where there's no parents. We come from dysfunctional families where you find there's a single mother. She wakes up at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, she's out of the house, she comes back at 7. What time does the discipline is being
And
instilled?
magazama ukuthando, this week unoThabo, next month unoTom, uDick, uHarry.
You see, so it's the genesis of each and every problem that is happening. There are no men who instill discipline to young girls, and say, when you are a young lady, you need to stand up for yourself.
Stand up.
Get up and fight. There's no man who's gonna come and save you here.
they're not for you.
And like it'll give you option to say, no, I don't want this one, because if you have something to back it up with, right? You have to back it up. That was one thing about me. I love educated women.
As Drake says,
Just a
that good
tenor.
ones go,
Yes.
I have something to take care of me now.
Exactly.
I have something to take care of me now. How are you expecting another person to take care of you while they're still taking care of themselves?
Exactly. So now it's a problem. Now you meet someone who does not have anything, especially women. I've encountered a few. She's not doing anything. You love her, and then you say, okay, what is the plan now?
What do you bring in the
No.
table? Okay.
What is your plan?
Oh, your plan.
She probably, I'm just gonna make a typical example. I just got matric. I just have matric only. Okay, do you have even a learners? 108 rand learners. You don't have learners. Okay, it's fine. Go book.
Booking, guys. Book for a learner. It's not even over. It's not even 200 rands.
No, I'm gonna pay for it. Go book.
That's what I'm saying. People should understand.
Yes.
Elena's, it's not even 200 rands.
Yes.
Or if it's not even 250.
No, it's not. It's not. It's 108.
But
rand.
you can want ice drop. In Malin ice drop has
I don't even know.
six-pack.
I don't even probably 700.
I would demand 6-pack here ice droppers to you while I can do Elena's get 250.
We have our priorities misplaced. Something learners will put you in a better place. You're not far from a license right now, right?
Exactly.
So I'm saying to you, go do it. You still want me, expecting me to do it for you. So now you see, now there's an accountability problem from some women. There's accountability problem, and saying, I cannot be with you because of now. You cannot think far. You don't have an eagle mindset. You have a chicken mindset. You only see everything here. Me, I see the future with you. Me, I'm seeing 10 years, 15 years to come. I see you as this. I'm excited about it. I'm even excited for you about your future. I'm saying,
Let's take along. So is it okay if you feel Uguti Lomundi is gonna sink you in this?
Yeah, you see it.
Is it fine if we leave them?
No, it's even okay. You drop them.
Should we?
You drop them.
It doesn't matter how we feel about them.
It goes to men as well. If you ladies and then you feel that your man is dragging you, you have every right. You have every right to leave him because of a misconception from our traditional home that says like a woman must help a man with his vision. What about yours?
What about mine?
What about yours?
I love that.
So what about you? So hence, as I said, I do not want a slave. I want someone who's me. I come with 100%. And you see this 50-50. I come with 100%. You come out 100%, and then we have 200%. You see.
So should we have double standards as people?
I have my own.
Should it be a basic thing that you have your double standards and you're not gonna do what the society expects of you? You're doing what makes sense to you.
Yes, it does. Because my double standard is like I can't stand a woman who's loud.
Okay.
When she's addressing something, she's not for me. That one. She's not for me. And then I hate lazy people. I don't like lazy people, especially when you're a woman. You're lazy.
Have you ever encounter a person that you're dating? You have a conversation, but the moment they leave, nothing sits in your mind. Like you don't recall any of the conversation you had with them.
Yep, it has happened a lot of times. And then you need to understand that not everyone is exposed to what you're exposed to, and then it's okay to encounter such people in life.
Yeah,
it's okay to encounter such people in life. Let them be. Bazothola ama-soulmates abo now. You are not the one.
So you should remove yourself.
Yes, you're not the one. You're not the one. Because it's pointless you wanting to stay with someone who you are not getting anything from, especially in an intellectual discourse. Your intellectual discourse, even you can talk about anything.
Yeah.
Me, I'm not those ones who say, my love, what is the rand compared to $1? That's irrelevant to me. Or what do you think about NHI? What is this going to benefit from that?
Yeah.
What's the point? Like, I want my woman to learn things that are very important.
So do you believe that we have to balance academics and street life?
Yeah, you need to.
It's compulsory.
It's compulsory. I'm fortunate enough because I grew up in the streets.
Yeah.
Grew up in the streets. So there's no way, I'm still saying there's no way any woman I learned my lesson. There's not.
Am I allowed, Mina, proudly? Because you and Gebo, you know my background in the sense that my parents died when I was very young. And I had to figure this life out.
Yes, you had to.
Am I allowed to say, when someone is bullshitting me and say, I was raised by the streets, proudly so.
Yes, you're allowed. Very much allowed. You need to own it.
Because I remember, but I'm on Moses.
Ah.
I remember when I was raised by
Yeah,
the streets, and
streets,
I'm like, Moses. Am I the streets?
So
But can I carry that with pride? Because
should.
sometimes
You should.
it sounds so ghetto.
no, you see, like you should, because of I learned a responsibility at a very young age. I used to wash people's cars. I used to do. I was never spoon fed. I used to do people's gardens. Like we had a group of friends of ours, because of when we wanted something, we would work for it. You must work for it. But then I had to figure it out at a very young age to say, for you to have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then what shaped me as well is that the environment I grew up in an environment where a lot of people had means. It was some of us who didn't have means. And then for me to not be pressurized to resort to crime and all those things, I instilled something in me that says I need to work.
I was going there.
I need to work.
What makes you think it makes you outstanding, Ekas?
What makes
Makes you, I don't want to say what people think
Yeah.
of you. What makes you feel and think and know that you are outstanding? Like we are only as keeper. Like you know very well that this defines you as Otapelo amongst other people like us.
like you see, this one I like it very much because of, you would never find me anywhere when there's squabble, there's drama. You'd never find me.
Okay.
That is the only thing that distinguishes me. You would never find me where there's squabble, there's drama, and there's all those things. I'll always choose peace over everything. So even where I stay, people would say, "Lela Hotman." Even Abantabata, they call me Hotman because how I carry myself. I carry myself with respect.
Yeah.
I don't go around sleeping around and doing all those kind of things. I carry that respect within me. Even though some would say you have the potential to be sleeping around.
You have a potential of everything.
Yeah, you see, you have a potential of sleeping around and all those things. I was like,
Nobody
nah.
talks nobody professional mafuna.
But then I was like, I always choose the hard way because the hard way has rewards.
You always sound hungry when it comes to knowledge.
This is an insatiable desire. I don't know. There's nothing that can feed it because of. Every day when I wake up, I read. I sleep, I read. I watch podcast. I have this friend of mine, Professor I. I'm sure you know him. He's in Saudi Arabia. We call each other almost every day. We speak each other almost every day. We have a good brother of mine. We share the knowledge in every day. I'm surrounded by people who I learn from. It's very smart people. I'm surrounded by smart people.
You know, I have a friend of mine who had a man, a married man, and this man said to her, "I know I'm not gonna be here for like I'm not gonna be here for a while.
Yeah.
I think I'm here for a purpose.
Okay.
And my purpose is I want to take you to school. Because even if we break up, I can take everything that I bought for you.
Yeah.
But I would never take knowledge.
Yeah, you can't take that thing.
So that's what I want to leave you with.
Yes.
In a sense that I don't want you to go to other men
Yes.
to feed you or with your kids,
Yeah.
or a man that will come and abuse your kids and you will shy away or look like you don't have a blind eye.
Yes.
that person is abusing your kids because you know that they're putting pap on your table.
Yes.
So this is what I want to offer you, because I'm here not because of I have problems at home.
Yes.
I know I'm here because I'm just naughty and greedy,
Yeah.
but this is what I want to do. And then when she came to me sharing that with me, I was like, you wouldn't even have, you're not even supposed to be here.
Yeah.
You not even have to discuss this. You need to grab this with
Both
both hands. He's offering
Take,
knowledge.
fly. Just take and fly.
He's offering education.
Yes, just imagine.
Even if he can take all the red bottoms
Yeah,
and your
whatever it
Gucci's
is.
and whatsoever, this is what you'll be left with.
Yeah.
Because ngeke avule ingqondo yakho and take
take
or
it,
burn those certificates or those degrees. They will, even if angazithatha, you can still go and you
Print them
know.
out.
So do you think Ikasletu needs more of the exposure of greater things? Because now Nkhulele Kasi,
For sure.
and then now I'm somewhere.
Yeah, definitely.
In a sense that Umono 20K, you literally have nothing.
Yeah.
And then it gives you that thing of having this thing of working hard.
Yeah.
Ngoba umakhelwane wakho, not that you're competing,
Yes.
but it teaches you that what you are exposed to, you can do better. It
Even
gives you
greater.
that thing of wanting to do better. Do you think, Tina, abantu basekasi, we are limited in such exposure? And what should we do?
We are limited. We are limited. Very much limited, because of one thing about the mind. A mind cannot manifest an unknown thought. So first you have to visualize it before you can see it with your own eyes. Yabo. So how can you aspire ukuhlala esentini if you haven't been in sentini?
Hey.
So now that's a real problem, right?
Yeah.
Because of
Mina phela ngazi kwaVasco
You
mina.
see?
Mangifika kwaVasco wangibrayila inyama njengomuntu wami, wangithengela nyana 6 nyana. That's life for me.
It
Because
is.
endlini sihlala sidli ipapa netiye, and when ungikhiphile wayongibrayila kwaVasco.
true new exposure. So because ngikhulela eSwaneville, right? Nami ngisekagiso manje ngikhulela
Yeah.
eSwaneville. Sakhula, we used to aspire ukuhlala eKagiso because that's where our eyesight reached, right?
That's true.
That's where our eyesight reached. But at this moment, you start going out, seeing more other places, and then you realize that there's more to life than what we're exposed to.
Yeah.
So now I can aspire to live in Sentin, Morningside. I can aspire to live in Cape Town because I've been there. You can aspire to want a Lamborghini, to want all
Yeah,
these things because you have seen them.
Yeah.
You cannot aspire
Not
for some,
not ungebo uhamba ngepolo ekasi oroundayo nakhona ufaka upetrol ka 200 uyazi weekend yonke izomlasta nje lokho eshaya sound lapha nekasi, and then you think that that's life because
Yes.
that's what you know.
hence, I'm not sure if you remember, I said this, that was, I think 7 years ago, if you still remember. I said to you, it is very much important for us to own those big cars and everything. We take them to Ekas and then let these young kids to see that these are the people that we look up to.
Yeah.
Yes. So that they can see we can dream beyond these people. We can dream beyond these people. Because of what? We came back with big things that people never thought it was possible for such people, especially, they can have achieved this. We have a lot of examples, like people who have done great things. We have a lot of examples. So
course.
these people should inspire us, and they are the beacon of hope that we need to look up to. And so if this person has done this, great, goddamn, man, we can do so much.
This is what I always say. Ke kwaba ne high school iLudirile.
Yeah.
Klapo came in.
Yeah.
I would proudly say this, and I don't want to stand to be corrected. I'm not saying we didn't have graduates before Nhlapo. I'm not saying we didn't have people who had greater things before Nhlapo. But for me, Nhlapo came and he made a turnover in our
It did.
community.
You see that man. That man is an epitome of greatness.
Zipho Zinto.
Yeah, he's an epitome of greatness. You see, unfortunately, I azange ngangena Ludirile.
Yeah.
Yes,
Me too.
I was in KZN, but then
Yeah.
I've been introduced to Mr. Zinto
Yes, Mr. Zinto,
by
yes.
Professor Aya and Tembi and Thabo Mtika as well.
Thabo Mtika, yes,
Yeah,
shout out.
those are the guys who introduced me to Mr. Zinto. You know, like I had a privilege of sitting with him, and then I asked him, and then I remember this day I asked him, how did you do this? And then he said to me, I think I was still in Soweto at that time.
Yeah.
He said, I had this spinning dream because I was young.
Yeah.
So I visualized. And he speak with this company. He says, I visualize all these things. So,
Yeah.
he said, I visualize all these things. So I saw greatness. He said, man, if you saw this place, and then
Dude,
I turned it around.
That guy, when he tell his story, when he was still a teacher somewhere in
Soweto.
Northwest,
There was some in Soweto as well. When we were
but
starting,
there was a time Begalala at Lasin,
yeah.
and he was an early bed, and everybody thought that he was Bega figure earlier,
Yeah,
but he
yeah.
was sleeping there
I
because
remember that story as well.
you know the story.
the story.
And then now Mr. Zindo joining stock fair for paying ama registration fees
Yeah.
for matriculants who are going to varsity the next year.
Yeah.
Things that he made our community to be exposed to.
Yes.
Ngikhumbula ukuthi uthwele every year uhlaba inkomo
Yeah.
esikolweni ngoba uthwele, but I really wanna thank that guy. He was a man with solutions, not problems.
Yeah.
I remember when I lost my brother, he came and then he was like, I don't know what you're going through right now, but your brother is part of us.
Yeah.
What can I do?
You see, someone was coming.
He
with
didn't
social-
know me.
Yeah.
What can I do?
That's a leader right there. That's a
A
leader.
leader.
He's an epitome of greatness. You see that man, when I always bump into him, he says, "Hey, my man, like, where are you now?
Yeah.
Where are you?"
Yeah. He always have that.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to know all the
I
negatives.
don't know.
Come with something that he can celebrate on, and he celebrates people. Is
Yeah, he
another
does.
thing. As a leader,
Yeah, he
he allows other people to lead as
Yes,
well.
as well.
So, in closing, as we were talking about Nhlapo,
Yeah.
what do you want to be remembered for?
Someone who came and conquered and then done the unthinkable because of, I'm just gonna say it now, I'm gonna own it. I'm gonna become the greatest thing that ever happened in this life.
You know that I see that in you.
Yes, because because right now you need to believe it for it to happen. I've been saying this for years, and I know some of my mates would say nothing is happening, but then God's time is perfect. God's time is perfect.
You remember Block 7?
Yeah, I still remember. I used to visit you there. And then
You remember I
you'd
used to
cook
say
for
that
us.
I see that.
You see it in me and see it in
Is
me.
it still there?
And I think now the fire is burning 3 times now because
Oh, I
of
love
we
it.
are more hungry, and now we are more hungry because of I usually say to this friend of mine, Magic, I say like, my king, I'm gonna do my MBA in Harvard. I'm gonna do my MBA in Harvard. I'm gonna do my MBA in Harvard. Every single day I speak, and then this other day I was like, how are you gonna do it? Do you know? I do you know how much an MBA is in Harvard this year? It's 2.something million, 2.3 million. Where are you gonna get that money? Where are you gonna get that money? Where are you gonna get that money? my king?
Okay, I know I said in closing, but I know it's a schooling, right?
Yeah.
Tell me a bit about it.
I'm doing business management.
Okay.
Doing business management.
From you were doing science or
Yeah, I was,
chemical,
yeah,
don't know.
I do have something from chemical engineering as well.
So you left all of that. And then why did you choose to be in a different role now?
Colin, you see, I'm one of the people who have been called to bring solution, especially. You know, let me say it like this because it is how it is. There was this time where I was sleeping, and then I had an encounter, an encounter with God.
Yeah.
And then God said to me, you are called for finances.
Okay.
They are called for finances. When you read your Bible, the first thing Jesus Christ said to his disciples, said, when he was releasing his disciples, he said, go preach to the poor. And then that verse spoke to me and says, oh, which means we are the ones who need to preach to the poor so that we can bring solution of this high unemployment rate, the poverty line. And we are South Africa is the most unequal country.
And do you think our government is playing a huge role when it comes to us every day? Recessions, isn't every day? We barely, when you buy a cold drink, you feel bad that you could have done something. Like 200 rand, you feel so bad.
Yeah, it is. The government is doing it deliberately because of one thing you must know. When they were in CODESA in 1994, those times, pre-1994, one thing the African Art did, of which was a very smart move, they said you can take what we were given. It was a political freedom, not an economic freedom.
Not economic.
How can 7% of people own 90% of the economy?
Aish.
So now you see, with these policies that they've been influencing, that all of these policies, they made sure that they keep us out of the being economically active. Typical example, it is hard for a black man. Not maybe hard is just an understatement. It's impossible for black people to own a bank in this country. It's impossible. We have 5 commercial banks.
There's a lady who tried it, isn't it?
Yes,
I just forgot her name.
Tabelin.
Yes.
Tabelin.
Yeah.
Do you know what the Reserve Bank said? She said she must have 5 billion that is floating.
Billion.
5 billion rands.
As much as our fellow brothers, I'm going to talk about people who have legal documents in South Africa.
Yes.
Right? Who came here with different aspects of businesses.
Yes.
And our government, they want 5 million to qualify as a business person in South Africa.
Yes.
Do you think that is far-fetched? You're coming with something that is different in our country.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because obviously maybe you did your research and then you know that this is what we need.
Yeah, there's a market. You saw a market.
You saw a market. You saw a slot that can bring economy to our country as well. Do you think it's far-fetched when they say for starters, for just registration, you have to have 5 million in your account?
You see, hence that's why I'm saying these policies are anti-black. Which black person who has a 5 million that is floating around?
While you're still starting.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So when you see Cape Town is saturated by foreigners,
Yeah.
white foreigners who comes from your England and everything
London,
because of their currency is strong at that side. So when they come here,
Yeah.
they're very rich.
Yes.
He can just be someone who's regular from his home country, and then when they come here, they're very rich. So how come you put strict measures that exclude just normal people to participate in an economy that would benefit
5 million. At the very same time, I feel like it's so not fair, because
it's not fair.
More especially when someone has all the required papers to be here,
Everything,
legitly so,
everything.
and then you'll be like, oh, you have a business, you proposed the business,
Yes.
oh, it's a great idea and everything like that, but do you have 5 million for us to just register you and recognize you in our country? And the very same person who says that to you, they don't even have that.
They don't even know those money. So hence we need to be cognizant and be aware of the fact that all these policies that are being implemented are anti-black. So what we need to do, I know we just came up from voting. We need to put a government that's going to be advocating for blacks, for blacks to be included in economic, education. You cannot tell me that we do not have qualified people. We lack scarce skills.
Dude, I know Uketa.
We lack scarce skills.
Uketa was overqualified in my country. I don't know where did he apply abroad. He was underqualified.
You see, because of the system is not allowing us to move further. I have a few friends of mine who works in corporate in Cape Town. It is difficult for a black person to attain or to be promoted to a management position because of the system in Cape Town. What they've done, they make sure that they oppress blacks. They come here when they want opportunities, and then we as blacks, we don't know anything. Me, I blame your people such as, I'm just gonna call them names. Your Mzi Kumalo, your Patrice Motsepe, all these black,
I see Mzi Kumalo.
all these black billionaires. This Babalo, Jeff, no, not Jeff, I think Babagasim Dope. I don't know why. I know Kichima. I don't know why I always forget his name. You see, if we were very, very, very serious about black economy, those people who could have done something.
Open doors for us.
Yes, could have done something. They could have come and collected themselves and
collab.
then. Yeah,
and there would be a great team.
There would be a great team. So, but then you see, when you made it, it's only for you and those individual one. We don't think multiplication. We don't think multiplication. We don't have an ego mindset to see like we need to be going there, we need to be going there, we need to be going there. You see, I watch a lot of guys, I watch a lot of podcasts. You see, there's this specifically a podcast that Penwell, he was interviewing.
Penwell, yeah, I see that.
Yeah, Penwell was interviewing for Sitembe Gwaya. So there's explaining these things about Jew. It's called fargin. You buy from one another.
Yeah.
We don't have that. If you're selling something, and then I know. Like, I'm just gonna make an example about you selling in apparel. You just print maybe upaloslila.
Man, and it is happening in Kaslet where
it is.
Skip was 60 rand as we at 500.
It is happening. So now the thing about that is just that we inflate too much prices. You cannot. And
then you come back and say we don't support
you. You need to be realistic as well. For us to support you, need to be realistic. You need to be establish yourself, build a solid clientele base, and then make sure you sell it. You just can't want to emotionally blackmail us. We need to support you because we are black. I also blame black businesses. Black businesses, they don't market, they don't sell. You need to push out. You need to go out there and sell. You need to go out and then sell. You need to make sure that your products are everywhere accessible. You also need to learn. And the other thing, you also need to learn customer service as blacks. Customer service is black.
Don't feel entitlement.
Henry Ford, he said, once you master customer service, there's only one thing you'll worry about. It's just profit. You see, once you have mastered what? Customer service. Yes. Trust me.
What's your last word?
Last word. One day is not too far.
Shut out.
One day is not too far.
Shut out.
No, one day is
Shut
not
out.
too
Shut out. One day is not too far.
One day is not too far. Don't give up, Queen and King. One day is not too far.
Thank you so much.